Hello guys, good evening to everyone. Magandang gabi sa inyong lahat. And again, welcome back to the Resistance Trader. And tonight, no, wherever you are, whatever part of the world you're into, anong time zone man kayo nandun, we would like to greet you a happy holidays and of course, a blessed upcoming new year. So in a few moments no from now, puputukan na and we will have a very new year upcoming from 2022 to 2023. So allow us to greet you happy new year. So today, with me is of course our good friend who will be discussing with us for tonight's or today's show, Mr. Joseph Sly Sylvester. Yay! Welcome, bro. What's up? Kumusta?
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 Okay lang
It's been a
bro,
while, bro.
okay
So
lang.
you know
Mm,
what? It's been a while, so we just would like to share to our audience also that after some time, we actually had this hiatus, no? Nagpahinga tayo
oo.
saglit sa broadcast and podcast and everything. So yun, shameless plugging. We have our podcast, Script Tagalog, which is still available in Spotify, in Apple, and Google. You can check us out. But tonight, we decided to do a year ender because from the last time that we did a show or soundbite, ang pinag-usapan natin was updates no for the blockchain. Ang dami na nangyari since what? Since around August of 2022 to
Oo.
currently, no? It's already December. Ang dami na nangyari. We've heard a lot of things happening and admittedly, marami tayong narinig and marami doon hindi ganun ka magandang balita. So we're here to actually address your concern, yung
Concerns.
mga agam-agam ninyo gusto nating pag-usapan. So we're doing a blockchain update for you, for our followers, for in the Resistance Trader page. And by the way, if this is your first time to listen, watch our show, please don't forget to like our page and follow our YouTube for more updates about blockchain. Now, so siguro let's get started no by basically for the newbies Sly, since we've been here medyo matagal-tagal tayong hindi nag-air out ng mga show natin and
Oo.
we've been very busy with, well, me, I've been very busy in the space also but silently doing things no for a company, and Sly here is also busy sharpening his skills and doing stuff in the web 3. We're both participants of the web 3 space no, daming
Mm.
update ng web 3 and ng blockchain. And now, gusto namin i-share sa inyo so that people who is watching and listening to us will understand o maiintindihan ninyo kung ano yung mga naririnig, napapanood at nababasa namin. And more to that later. So, before that, allow me to introduce my partner for the show, our guest for the show. Of course, he is a devoted blockchain programmer who writes down smart contracts down to the core, and well, still one of the professors for Tataas University also. No, and it's an online university in the US for blockchain, and none other than Mr. Sly. Welcome. So, bro, please greet our audience.
Hey, what's up guys? Ah,
Hindi mo ba sila na-miss, bro?
oo, miss this show, bro. I missed it a lot. Kasi,
Yeah.
bro, a lot of things, a lot of data. I've been researching for the last couple of months on blockchain and what's to come. Ang daming
So, yun nga.
data.
Pag-uusapan natin ngayong gabi or ngayong araw bago magputukan, bago dumating si 2023 is the blockchain update, the wrap up blockchain updates for 2022. Na alam natin, 2021 has been a good year for most cryptocurrency and blockchain enthusiasts. It's one of the best bull run ever. Wala pang ano no makakapag-contest nun. One of the best bull run for crypto was 2021, and 2022 was a rough year. But I will let Sly be the judge For me kasi, no, disclaimer, no, this is just my opinion. I don't think this would be the worst. No? This is not the worst. I
Far from
mean,
it. Far from
yeah.
it.
Hindi ito yung
Malayo, bro.
pinaka-worst.
Malayo.
Compare natin sa 2020, no, nung pre-pandemic to pandemic levels, I don't think that this is the worst. But I think a lot of people no happen to have problems, more problems now than what they have or they did nung pre-pandemic. Pag-usapan natin 'yan. So, do you think Sly just the same kasi ako tingin ko baka nga mas marami yung nawala ng pera or nalugi ngayong 2022 compare dun sa 2020 na bagsak or baba or bear market ni crypto markets and the blockchain. Kasi 'di ba back in 2020 bago magkaroon ng yung nung Black Friday
Oo.
in March 2020
Hmm.
Bitcoin was around trading 3,000 plus no. Between 3,000 to 4,000 US dollar, and that's one of the parang pinakamasamang bagsak niya
Mm.
coming from the bull run of 2017, which
Mm-mm.
was
Mm-mm.
20,000. Tapos in 3 years down the lane, boom, biglang from 20,000 it went down to 3,000
Mm.
US dollars. So madami yung madami nagsabi ilang
Mm.
beses na patay na raw si Bitcoin, hindi daw wala na raw mangyayari sa blockchain. And history will tell them and prove them incorrect. So, yan, kami, bahagi din kami ng kasaysayan na yan. And we are here to tell you guys, when nangyayari yung mga bagay na yan, we were there and we are part of it. And no, it's not the end. Now we're still here from 2022 downpour or downtrend. We experienced 2021, which is basically the best year ever for crypto that time. Then ito ngayon 2022, it's a downtrend again, baba na naman. We
Mm-mm.
were still telling people na yeah, it's downtrend, but just hold on for a bit as long as you don't for as long as hindi ninyo itinaya yung kabuhayan nyo dito, that shouldn't be a problem. And by the way, for those who know our channel, trading community, we always tell people to never go all in. Never
Oh,
go all in.
never.
Yeah. So yeah, let's discuss more about that. So Sly, what do you think? Um, how do we wrap up 2022? Paano ba natin i-summarize ang 2022 in a nutshell? If we say 2021 is the best
Ah,
year, let's look at 2022.
well, so ito, ang summary ko for 2022 is that um let's understand the setup. There is a setup. That is what I'm saying now. Understand the setup of what's happening. Bakit?
So when you
In
say
terms,
setup, let's qualify that, Sir
uh,
Sly, no?
ito,
Ibig
ito.
sabihin may pattern, ano? So kumbaga, if
Yes, yes.
may mangyayari, kung may mangyayari sa space,
Uh,
particularly in the crypto financial space, meron niyang kaakibat ng mga indicators
uh-oh.
that will
Damning indicators that tells us,
mm,
dami bro, indicators that tell us by using historical precedents, halimbawa, we know that after every Bitcoin halving, there will be a bull run. Yeah, that's historical precedents. It's been proven. Yeah. When is the next bull run for Bitcoin? 2024. Yeah. So,
having, you mean? When is the
halving, yes.
next having?
When is the next
For the
halving?
ano natin, i-qualify natin, no? Para dun sa understanding ng mga bagong nanonood sa atin, yung having na
Mm,
tinatawag. Kasi Bitcoin is still running o tumatakbo pa rin siya sa proof of work. Ano yung proof of work? Ito yung basically mining, yung computers will solve mathematical problems to prove that a transaction or a sending, particularly sending of
so,
Bitcoin is valid.
mm,
So, kailangan patunayan yon kasi nga these things they run automatically. Automatic sila. So sino ngayon yung nagba-validate sa kanila? It is validated by independent validators called nodes. Then these nodes are computers. These computers, yung nagawa nila, wala silang ibang ginagawa kundi mag-solve ng mathematical problem to prove that a transaction is valid or otherwise invalid siya. So ngayon, when they do that, they get rewards. And that's how mining works, no? So we have a mining 101 here, pero that's for Bitcoin halving. What does it have to do with the Bitcoin halving? Yung sabi ko nga kanina, when computers solve mathematical problems to prove a transaction is correct or incorrect, they get paid through crypto. Ibig sabihin, every time they did this mathematical at random, who's the fastest to solve it will get a small amount, a small fraction of Bitcoin or crypto. And that's what you call mining. Now, going back sa halving, yung mining kasi automatically meron siyang X amount no na binibigay. Ibig sabihin, at a given time, ito yung ano no, yung cryptocurrency na makukuha mo. For example, sabihin natin, no, yung nung 20 nung nag-start nung heydays, yung bago pa lang yung ano no, yung Bitcoin, sobrang bago, mga 2010 around that time, malaki yung reward for miners or for those who
Oo.
solve problem. Now, that reward, sabihin natin, 1 Bitcoin every uh 3
Having.
4 years, every 4 years
Mm.
nagkakaroon ng sinasabing halving. Every 4 years nagkakaroon ng sinasabing halving. So kakalahatiin nila yung ano, yung rewards. So
Oo.
every halving, every 4 years na kalahati from 1 Bitcoin to 0.5 Bitcoin to 0.25 Bitcoin to point 7 point ayan, kung kalahati ng 0.25, so and so on and so forth. So pag ngayon, pagka naging kalahati na yan, that time ngayon pagdating ng 2024, meron ulit halving, kakalahatiin na ulit from 2020. So yun yung nangyari niyan. So 2020 yung last halving, 2020 bago mag-halving, every time ito rin proven din to Sly, no? Doon sa ano sa data natin ano na binabasa, before mag-halving nagda-dump din talaga
Oo.
ang crypto market. Bumabagsak talaga. So kaya nga sabi ko sa inyo, 'di ba, halving ng 2020. Pero 2020 is worse compared to 2022. Sa ano sa pagbagsak. Sobrang layo ang laki ng bagsak nung ano.
Pero let's look at history kasi um yung lowest so 2020 was 3,000, pero yung lowest before that, how much was it? Probably like, I don't know, $500.
$500. Yeah. Or
Parang ganon.
mga $1,000 or
Pero
less.
you know that every year before having, it will always reach a low point. Yeah.
Just
Next
like now,
having.
kasi 2 years from now, having 1 year, kasi 2023 is upcoming. So, a year before the halving, definitely we will experience kumbaga sa roller coaster. Bababa yan.
So, my summary for 2022, I look at the setup. The setup is beautiful for 2024. Bakit? Doon sa Twitter, who's the new Twitter guy? It's Elon, right? Why is Twitter, in terms of the blockchain and NFT space, why is it important that we know that Elon owns Twitter? Kasi look what happened previously when he mentioned cryptocurrency. When he mentioned something, the crypto markets moved up for that particular coin or token. But in general, don't say Twitter, there's a lot of blockchain and NFT discussion. Okay. Elon Musk wants open conversation. You can talk about anything. Yeah. After he took over, he wants the conversations about, let's say in this case, blockchain or NFTs or anything blockchain related He wants that open discussion because when people hype, let's say Bitcoin, they hype Ethereum. Syempre, we want it to go up. We want the value of the coin to go up. Twitter is the first setup. Sige, isa. What's the second setup? The second setup is this FTX collapse. FTX collapse. I know on a different show, I mentioned it was his entire project is a very good bad idea. I saw through him already.
Deep
Pero
fried
we
man.
needed
Deep fried man. Okay.
pero we needed something to bring down the markets. It's the same concept every single cycle. Something hypes the markets up, something like FUD brings the markets down. The FTX collapse is no different from all the news we've heard in the past. It's just part of the storytelling. How do we get from one cycle to the next? There must be an up, there must be a down. There has to be a catalyst. So anong story na yon for this cycle? FTX collapse. It was all planned. It was all staged.
Yeah.
Point is,
2020 kasi, it was the pandemic eh. So, the pandemic prepared the way for the downturn. Then,
for the next phase of for the next
mm-mm.
cycle.
Now the collapse of a centralized exchange is showing the markets to its way going down. Parang ganun, ano? So you're saying
nothing new.
yeah, you're saying that phenomenons or historical phenomenons or happenings actually shows the market its way up or down. So the setup for now is going down because it needs to go down before it goes up.
Right.
Okay.
Kasi, diba, in every story, there's usually 5 stages to a story. If you look at the concept of a bell curve, okay, and what does the bell curve usually represent? A market cycle. Same thing as a story. Introduction, understanding the conflict resolution, the calming, going into the next act. Gets?
Yeah.
It's the same way.
Basically, it makes perfect sense, bro.
Diba? It's the same story. So ibig sabihin, we're now at the part of calm because FTX, the owner, he's now arrested, he's being extradited, blah blah blah. Sige, okay lang. We're going into the next act. Okay. The next act won't happen until we finish this current act. Think of this as a story. Next year, we're going to see the last part of this act or this cycle end, but it's going to be a year-long trend of the bear market ending this current act. Bakit? Kasi I mentioned on a few episodes on your show, by the way, that there is always a correlation with fiat currencies and cryptocurrencies. In this case, it's going to be Bitcoin. But when you say Bitcoin, we're always talking about the cryptocurrency space. Diba? So tignan mo, look at the Forex market. Pesos to dollars. How much is the peso now to the dollar? I believe last time I checked, it's about $1 is like 55 pesos, no? Somewhere around there. Sige. What did
It's actually 55.08 to be exact.
Yeah, in the same area. Pero what I need people to understand is the setup now. Okay, we're already talking bad about cryptos. Sige, bear market na. Now we have to talk about the fiat currency. What happened to the dollar just recently this month with the Feds? They increased basis rates by I think what 0.5% or something.
People have to understand that these rates, although it's just numbers for some, they mean a lot, or they actually drives market a lot kasi ang ibig sabihin kapag itinataas ng government, particularly US and the first world countries, yung mga rates nila, big investors, huge investors tend to keep their money with the government. Kasi, 'di ba? That's basically why they are raising. The reason why they are raising the rates is for people to actually make money from government, like bonds, yung mga ganyan.
Yes, let's keep that in mind. Government, not just here in the Philippines, but also all around the world.
Global,
Government.
yeah, global.
It's a global event. And we'll talk about another subject in a few minutes. So ito, fiat currency. So dollar, peso, exchange rate, $1 to 55 pesos, no? So Fed in the US does a 0.5% basis rate hike. There are a total of 3 basis rate hikes. We already went through one. We have 2 more. Anong result sa a basis rate hike? What does that do to the dollar compared to, let's say, the Philippine peso? Do you know?
It raises the value of the dollar, basically, versus
Right.
the
So
other currency. Not just pesos, no? Those
right, other
currencies
currencies.
that are
Right.
yung currency na bumabangga sa dolyar will
Right. So ito,
basically
bro.
go down.
So ito, bro.
Yeah.
So ito. Interest rates increase the value of the dollar. Tapos, in correlation sa peso, the value goes down. So ibig sabihin, we will see a higher peso to dollar rate. Ibig sabihin, $1 to 60, $1 to 65, or more. So gets. Pero that's a good thing for foreign investment. Bakit? Kasi if you're holding dollars, it's great to go to another country, buy something on the cheap. Bakit? Here in the Philippines, when the peso gets that bad, like $1 to 55 or $1 to 70, so syempre, you want to be holding the dollar. Yeah. You can do more. You get more pesos.
Kasi yung purchasing power mo with dollar is higher. Kasi for example, your $1 na dati 55 pesos yung purchasing power sa Pilipinas will now become 70 pesos. Diba?
So, ito ang setup. The setup is the peso will get weaker next year. I guarantee you. Pero, mind you, pag may interest rate base hike, may lag. Halimbawa, the base rate hike took place in, I think, 15th of December this year. So the lag will take place probably in January or February, meaning it will hit us. We will start to see the value, the purchasing power of the peso go down because it might lag effect. Usually about 3 months most of the times. So ibig sabihin, yung tao dito, they're not going to be doing too well. Especially, let's say, if you're working a low-end job, let's say you're making 20,000 pesos. You look at a 1,000 peso note. You know that story. In the 90s, you can buy a month's worth of food. Pero na yun.
Siguro mga 2 days.
Chips.
2 days naman. 2 days. 2 days you can buy 2 days food. That's already good food naman for 2 days.
Right. 2 days, 1,000 pesos. Pero can you live off that, knowing that your purchasing power is low? That's what's going to be happening, at least to the people here in the Philippines. So you have to understand the setup, and you need to prepare. So that's a setup. Now, there is going to be an end, however, to all this, which is a good news. Okay, but how that end happens it depends on what side of the financial spectrum you are in. Bakit? Kasi if you're well off, you make a lot of money, sige, pwede, you can survive the storm. Pero if you're surviving paycheck to paycheck, you might as well stop spending on dumb stuff. You gotta save your money.
Ibig sabihin, we have to think of ways how to lower down our cost and how to have an extra source of income, probably.
Right. So there is a good and bad here. Foreign investment into the Philippines will boom. I'll give you that much. I'm already looking into real estate data here in the Philippines. But here's where the part that no one talks about. That's great for if you want to live here, if you want to have a home here, or some kind of vacation place. Your dollars will go a lot further here. But in terms of business, this is where I need people to now start paying attention to this broadcast. Bakit? the dollar will weaken the peso, but eventually that will come to an end after the third base hike. Okay. After the third base hike, that's when correlation works its way in the benefit of the peso. Dollar will get weak, peso gets stronger. Yeah. But let me remind you on one thing. What happened back in 2000 and I want to say 2008. What was the exchange rate back then? $1 was to 40 pesos. So the peso was strong. Where was the foreign investment? They were slowly packing their bags and looking for cheaper alternatives. That was back in 2008, $1 to 40 pesos. Yeah. I believe in this time around, we're going to see a lot stronger peso. Now, whether you are the current fan of the president right now and that he will bring about this awesome change, it's only because the markets, they're just doing their thing. I don't think it has anything to do with the president. It's just how the markets work. But I
Okay.
guarantee
Yeah.
you, we will see a stronger peso.
Mhm.
Bucket. That dollar will have to crash.
Kailangan niya
That means,
mag-dip, no? Para kasi magpe-prepare uli siya
no,
para sa next up niya uli.
pero
Same.
what we're going to be looking at the dollar is it's going to get to the point where it will go below to a certain index. Like the healthy range for the dollar index in any market is like 80 to 100 on the index. If it goes below that, the dollar will like it will lose its purchasing power, making other currencies, fiat currencies, get stronger. I guarantee you, when that takes place, when the dollar starts to get to those levels, we will see probably another dollar to 40 peso exchange rate. And I'm forecasting that we might even hit $1 to 30 pesos. That's how strong it will be. But what the concern is, foreign investments like your BPOs, they'll leave, they'll pack up to cheaper alternatives because the peso is too strong. $500 usually is like the going rate per month per one BPO employee at the entry level. That's like what, 25,000 pesos right now, $500. That $500 at 30 pesos to a dollar, I mean, that's 15,000. Sorry. That's going to be a little bit, what do you call that? That's going to be 15,000 pesos at that exchange rate. But you already promised in the contract to the BPO company, you'll be paying them 25,000 pesos. So now the dollar, people who do the business, they have to put more dollars in to supplement the loss of the purchasing
Makes
power.
perfect sense, bro. So it's like to supplicate the lost purchasing power when the purchasing power of peso increases, kailangan mo increase yung liquidity ng magbabackton, which is the dollar, for example. So
Right.
same way for cryptocurrency, I guess, right? When we talk
Safe.
about cryptocurrencies, like
Right.
so this is a wrap up of 2022. No, we actually saw the downtrend of most, if not all currency. Yeah, I think all. Kasi wala akong nakitang currency that's stayed strong during this onslaught, no. Talagang nagbabaan silang lahat. And here comes the detractors of the cryptocurrency and blockchain telling people na, oh, ano sabi ko sa inyo, babagsak ang crypto, di ba?
Right.
Something like that.
It's going to be the same old news over and over again. But here's the thing about the setup. The setup, it's going to take the markets. I feel below. Eventually, I feel like it's going to go sub 10,000 for Bitcoin. I don't know about the other cryptocurrencies, but they usually follow what Bitcoin does. I believe in this case, it's going to be sub 10,000 for its lowest point. And that's just in my data alone. I could be wrong, but again, I'm just looking at data. Okay. What I'm saying is next year will be the biggest fire sale. Any person out there who's still interested in making generational wealth, but it's going to come at a cost depending on where you live in the world compared to your purchasing power to the dollar. Okay. The setup will allow you to buy in at cheaper prices because the data is suggesting that after the bull run in 2024, going into 2025 and 2026, we will see a new all-time high. Bakit? Kasi in the cryptocurrency space, I've noticed that we always introduce new marketing token features. Ano yan? 2014, 2015, the introduction to ERC20 token. So everyone can create their own token, di ba? 2017, maraming tokens were created. This token shot up, then it fell. Some guy created another token, that token was shot up, and then it went down. Okay, but we all profited if we were on the right side of the trade, di ba? Okay, that was 2017 bull run. Ito, 2020 to 2021, that bull run. What was the new feature introduced? In 2017, 2018, NFT standard was created, but it was only marketed in 2019, and it was heavily marketed through OpenSea, is the NFT standard. Your 721 and your 1155. Those are your NFT standards. And it shot up.
Siguro para dun sa knowledge nung nung mga nakikinig sa atin. This is standards that we are talking about. Ito yung mga ginagamit ng mga programmer, no? Programmer mostly. Para gumawa ng, for yung sinasabi niya na ERC20, it's a standard to write down smart contracts and create your own token if you know how to do it. If kung kaya mo mag-program ng sarili mo using the language of Solidity, that's a programming language, you can create your own token. So ERC20 was the base language that they used to create, the base standard that they used to create mga token, no? If you want your own token, do it by ERC20 standards or other related standards, but it's sa kanya nagsimula lahat. Ngayon, yung sinasabi ni Sly ngayon, ERC721, ito rin yung dahilan ko. Ito yung nag-drive. Bakit naririnig nyo na uuso ngayon yung mga NFT and metaverse na rin, no? So,
tama.
So, metaverse, vis-a-vis NFT, they were actually, nanggaling sila doon sa language and standard ng Solidity na ERC na bago, yung sinasabi niya na 721. So that's when market for NFT started to magkaroon ng ng upside. Kasabay siya ng bull run ng 2021 and even if it's winter ngayon or bear market ngayon, it's still NFT still becomes a fad or pa rin, mabenta pa rin even if they sell on a low.
Well, that's true. Totoo yan. Pero the data suggesting that NFT sales, even on OpenSea, have not surpassed their highest anymore. Sales are down to maybe about 5,000 to 6,000 sales, a month versus over, I think 400,000 sales at
Way
its
back.
peak.
Millions pa nga kung if we're looking at the popular gaming, diba? Gaming platform, they have millions of NFTs sold way back.
Tama. So now, what's going to happen in 2024, 2025, 2026? Anong new feature? Bro, do you remember the topics discussed about CBDC?
Yeah, of course. And for those who are not familiar, CBDC stands for Central Bank Issued Digital Currency, or parang sa layman's terms sabihin natin, para tong cryptocurrency pero gawa ito ng gobyerno.
So tignan mo, bro, maraming governments right now are looking into it and are actually writing drafts for government to pass it in legislation. Philippines already looking into it. They're about to pass a draft. Yeah.
Siguro it's worth noting. It's worth noting, bro. Worth noting that there is a success story for this. And the success story is in China, where they were able to actually successfully deployed their EU1 or e-renminbi through the help of companies there.
Pero we'll go into that a little bit more later. Let me explain. You have China, you have the Philippines. Well, China's already deployed theirs. China's already looking, Philippines is already looking into proposing a CBDC, US, certain areas of Europe, of the European Union, and so on and so forth. There's maraming countries are talking about CBDC. Pero when you look at CBDC, under government control, yeah, that's what's called central bank digital coin. Central bank digital coin. It's the equivalent to welfare or a stimulus check, pero by consequence. Anong consequence? Halimbawa, let's call it, the soda token. Okay, it's a CBDC token authorized by the government. You can only use this soda token for soda. Yun lang. Yun lang. You can buy any soda out there in the market, but only using soda coin. Or we have, let's say, I don't know, we'll call this bread token. Bread token. You can only buy bread with this token. So, ibig sabihin, the token that the central bank or the CBDCs, if done in a way where it's controlling, which it will be, is that they will give you free money, but that free money can only be used for particular items. Okay, but it depends on how they structure the CBDC. The worst case scenario that a CBDC can do is that you still gotta pay. What? You still gotta pay. I know. The CBDC token can state in its draft that if you have this and you're looking for food, by having this token, by giving it to the recipient of the store, maybe you only have to pay 50% of the actual price. It doesn't pay for the entire thing.
Well, actually, for example, based from what I've read, in China, you have to work for it, so there's an equivalent value in time of work. For example, in a day, sabihin natin 8 hours, yung pinaka basic work time, no, ng isang manggagawa o isang worker. So for you to earn the e token or the yung pera, e-pera, let's call it e-pera, electronic pera, you have to work for it, and you have to have like a good standing in the system. So you get rewarded with that e-pera, which you can use to buy goods and services.
Now, in a perfect world, that makes sense. Pero it depends on the infrastructure of the draft. Kasi the governments, any government can make it not worthwhile for the people. How? When you work for like a company under, let's say, certain laws of a country, let's say the Philippines, for example, a working day is 9 to 5, 8-hour shift, 1 hour lunch break, diba? That's usually your working thing. And then you, whenever you sign the contract, you know what you're going to be paid for, let's say on your paydays, right? But what if the government says, no, you're not going to put in 40 hours a week like a regular job. You need to give us 60 hours a week. Kind of unfair if that's the draft. Diba? But in the perfect world, yeah, 40 hours a week for X amount of tokens that you can use to spend on specific brand name goods. That's another concern. Specific brand name goods. It's not good as cash. Specific brand name goods that the government sanctions as, okay, with our token, you can buy this brand and this brand only. That's going to suck. But, if you got, if the token is more like, okay, fine, you work for us, for 40 hours a week, you'll be given compensation that is equivalent to the amount of work that you put in, then so be it. As long as it's good as cash, then I don't think people would mind, nor would people care if it's good as cash. But once you start getting very specific on what you can do with the token, you're talking, you're gonna have a situation where if it's a specific brand that you can only buy with this token, this brand is gonna dry up. So you have all this token, but you can't buy anything with it because it's brand specific. This is the fear that a lot of people must understand about CBDCs. If the draft or the infrastructure of how this token is written does not treat the token, again, this token is technically fiat in a way because it is government sanctioned. Yeah. So it should be good as money, meaning
Cash.
I can buy whatever I want, right? Good as cash. But if you're saying I can only buy specific items, then these specific items will get dried up really quick. And then I'm person holding all these e-pera, pero I can't buy anything with it because there's no stock, there's no inventory. So there is a good case and then there is a bad case for it. The point being is that if people get too greedy with this concept, certain brands will make out because, this brand, let's call this brand X, will dry up in stores because everyone has this token. They're going to be making a lot of money because there's a government subsidiary or some kind of contract associated with that brand. But if you treat the token, IPERA, as money, there's zero complaints. I guarantee you people will accept it. It's that when you get too greedy.
Pero I think CBDCs are made to replicate what fiat currency should do in an
Should
electronic
do.
way. Yeah.
Should do.
Just like what kasi kung gagawin legal tender yan, like what they intended to do it in China, for example. Kasi China hindi naman siya in particular. It was made public. Even wet markets nga try to run the CBDC, di ba? Meaning, ang ibig sabihin, kahit sa palengke, dapat, pwede mo siyang gamitin. So, let's go back to our, let's go back a little to our topic. Sabi natin, e-contracts or electronic or smart contracts is yung naging driver nung the first one.
Right.
Then we have the NFT standard driving. Now you said CBDC. Will CBDC drive?
It will drive under the new feature. It's called I think it's called ERC 555 something. It's like a 5,000 series contract. In essence, what it does is that it acts like a bank vault, but it's a smart contract bank vault. It acts like an ATM machine. So, for example, if this smart contract is a vault contract specifically for you, as long as it keeps getting funded, every month it will auto disperse to your wallet address as available funds for usage for whatever you want. So yes, it can be used for other things other than CBDC. So it can be used for many things. Like maybe you have a project that does, I don't know, something related to IPERA or something like that. Something similar.
Or something like rewards points.
Rewards, yes, rewards points. So in that sense, right? So that new smart contract, I feel that will become the new marketing tool to drive the DeFi or decentralized finance sector. The decentralized finance sector back in 2020 to 2021 actually kind of blew up, but then it was very short-lived. What outlived it was the NFTs. Why? Because everyone was making money on the flips. No one cared about, I'll make 6%, 8% interest on this particular token that does have value, but no one wants to wait months. They want it now. So the NFT market outlived the DeFi. DeFi will come back stronger in the next cycle. It will come back really strong with the support of the banks, with the support of other new projects, and so on and so forth. And that's why we're going to see not a 2-year bull run or, a cycle like we saw back in 2020, 2021. We might actually see a 3-year cycle. Why? Because we're going to hit 3 things. Money entering the market, okay? We're going to see, again, new projects sprout up using new tokens, NFT standards, even the new vault contract I'm talking about. And what I'm noticing is that for marketing to take place, the first year of marketing really hypes up the market so that new people enter the market, because the first people who enter the market are those with a lot of money. They're getting ready. The money's already there. It's entered. It's ready to go. The people entering on the second wave would happen on the second year, which will then drive the market up. Now, everyone is now flipping, making money, things like that, new features, new smart contracts, the vault contract, NFTs, all that. We're going to have a 3-year market cycle uptrend, okay? So it's not going to feel fast. It's just going to feel a little bit slower, but the trend is going to go up past the previous cycle's all-time high because we have that much more time to reintroduce or introduce new topics or features that are coming into the blockchain space.
So in
DeFi is going to
short,
be, yeah,
brother, every time a utility is born out of the blockchain technology, there is a new all-time high as well. So
yes,
most of the time, those new features are in line incidentally, but does come in line dun sa Bitcoin halving. So para silang ano, no? It's like the setup that most people should understand here, listening to the podcast or our show, watching the show right now, should understand that this is something that ano, no, they need to realize
yeah,
na nangyayari yan with or without people no really trying to ano no to influence the market kasi nga parang sabi mo nga, it's a cycle,
right.
'di ba?
And let me tell you one thing, just to kind of just wrap up the show. You have to understand now, you and I and many others in this space have been here for quite a long time. We've seen it rise and fall. What I'm saying to the new viewers and new listeners or people who are still trying to understand this concept is, okay, it's just a cycle. Let it play out. I suggest that you listen to shows like The Resistance Trader because we've been in it the longest. Okay, we can tell you right away, that's a bad project. Don't invest there. This is a good project. Invest here. We're not going to say it outright, but we're going to have our own opinions. The point being is that in this upcoming, well, we're in a downtrend right now. Don't believe the hype. Believe the story that is being played out in front of you is what we're trying to tell you. The hype will always be there. It's just there. That's the game. But remember, this entire thing is one long story. Believe the story. Okay? Don't believe the hype, believe the story.
Ayan, so tama no. So it's not just about the hype. It's all about well, markets are driven hindi lang ng finance but also by utility. Finance itself is
Uh
a good driver but it's a worse master. I'm telling you.
yeah.
Hindi dapat yun yung maging ano natin, maging master plan natin. Although at the end of the day, lahat naman tayo gusto natin kumita ng pera. So that's what we should do. That's what we ought to do. But we do it in ano no, in correspondence to numbers. Kasi sabi nga natin, why well, to wrap this up and of course, I know you've been listening to us in an hour now. Gusto namin sabihin na lahat ng to, this is happening because it follows a certain cycle that people should understand. And yung mga those who are in control, they understand it. That's why they're making money out of it. Just like
Mhm.
this guy, Elon Musk of Twitter and yeah, Tesla, and the other guys that we call whales. All we need to do is to follow those signals, and we will see the money trail. Just follow the money trail, and you'll get the money, of course.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's it. No, so I think it's still a good 2022 despite people bad mouthing or telling us otherwise. The
Mm.
markets were a downturn. Because
I,
what I see or what I saw, ito naman pag-usapan natin before we wrap up the show, no? What I saw was there's a lot of development happening for blockchain space as a technology and a
mhm.
lot of adoption happening also. Siguro
Surprisingly, that is true.
yeah,
Yes, a lot,
yung
a
hindi
lot.
nakikita nung mga detractors ng blockchain and crypto was na despite the fact that there is a downturn, maraming governments, private entities, even huge companies buying into the metaverse, Web 3.0. So these are all byproducts of blockchain, guys. That's all
Mm.
you know. So you keep on hearing metaverse, you keep on hearing Web 3.0. And Web 3.0, ano ba pinaka-philosophy niyan? That you are your own moneymaker. You
Yeah.
get rewarded for consuming internet. So how do you get rewarded? So that's
Uh,
basically
and
how, yeah,
and the
blockchain
setup
works.
really and the setup really is, 2023 might not be the best year for all of us, or it could be the best year for all of us. Point is, what blockchain aims to do for the individual is that, from what I'm experiencing for myself and those around me who are actively participating, is that the more creative you are, not just like in art, but just creative in a way, there's many things you can do with creativity in blockchain space in terms of Web3 and making money. And I think that'll be your key, a better key, a better gateway into understanding the technology a bit better is through your own creative means. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's actually your money, your creation, your world, something like that. That's how Web 3.0 philosophy works.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yep.
from Web 1, where you just consume data, Web 2, you became a creator of data. Web 3, you actually consume, create, and you own your data. Yan yung gusto na mangyari. So that's how Web 3.0. And siguro, let's leave it at that, no? I think we've got a very fruitful, maganda yung kwentuhan natin tonight or today, no? Marami
Mm-hmm.
tayong napag-usapan. If you've got questions, guys, just please type those questions in the comment section below so that we can respond to you online and offline, ano? So, siguro with that, I would like to thank my partner here, my guy here, Mr. Joseph Sly Sylvester, for sharing his knowledge and his experience for 2022 to wrap up our blockchain updates. So more to come for 2023 and beyond. So we're looking forward to that. And with that, we would like to say thank you guys. Thank you very much for tuning in. Lalo na yung mga followers natin. Sorry guys if we were not able to come up with new contents. We've been very busy. But now,
Mm.
I think we owe you guys this show so that you guys be updated. You can see, you can hear, you'll be able to hear, and you'll be able to see and understand what we saw, what we heard, and what we understood. So yeah. With that, thank you very much. And again, we'll see you again next time. And with that, would like to say happy New Year, happy 2023. More bull runs to come, and see you again next time.